2 nights ago, something happened to me that I will literally never forget. Oh my god, it was so fucking scary. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is 100% a paranormal experience. Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're all having a great week. I am going to film the Bachelorette recap for the episode that just aired Monday, like tomorrow, so you should get that 100% before the next episode. But I just had to film this because I am so motherfucking shook, y'all. Like, you guys know, or I think y'all know, that I 100% believe in like spirits and ghosts and like past lives and people's spirits who are stuck in like a house or just on earth or whatever because they can't move on for whatever reason. I believe in demons. I believe that people genuinely can become possessed. Like, I believe in literally like everything. I believe in aliens. I just think there is so much out there that we will never understand. And it just makes so much more sense to me to believe that anything is possible and anything could be real than to be a skeptic. Like, I'm not a skeptic. So I actually have a video where I talked about how this house, the house I currently live in, I've lived here since I was 8, it 100% used to be haunted. I firmly believe it. My sister firmly believes it. My mother firmly believes it. My grandfather, who has now passed, but at the time was alive, stayed here, believes it. My dad's the only person that doesn't believe it because he's such a skeptic. He doesn't believe in literally anything like that. But I made a whole video on like all the spooky shit that used to happen in my house when my house was haunted, and then we ended up removing the old intercom system, and once we removed that, every weird thing stopped. So we think that there must have been a spirit or whatever connected to that. I don't know. Like, no one's ever died in this house, but I don't know what's happened on this land because who knows what fucking used to be here. I don't know. I'll link that video down below because it's pretty interesting, and obviously I believe in that stuff. Besides that stuff that happened, which was all very creepy because I was so young when it was happening. Besides that, I've never experienced like direct paranormal hauntings or anything like that besides the stuff that happened in my house. But 2 nights ago, something happened to me that I will literally never forget, like has shook me so much, and I can't wait to read the comments on this video because I just like, holy fucking shit. Basically, what this story is going to be about is how I spent the night in a house that is most likely haunted, like 90% sure it's haunted, and I had sleep paralysis for the first time in my entire fucking life in this house, and all the shit that I was informed of in whatever prior to sleeping in the house and the sleep paralysis happening, just holy fuck. There's no explanation for this except paranormal, in my opinion. For those who don't know what sleep paralysis is fucking terrifying, and I completely sympathize with anyone who is someone that experiences sleep paralysis regularly. There are some people that have it so bad that it happens every single time they go to sleep, so they're literally scared to go to sleep each night. Like, literally, just imagine having to live your life that way. I don't even know what people like that do. I don't know if there's like a medicine that fixes it. I really don't think you can really fix it. I don't know. I'm not completely educated on it. I'm sure someone watching this knows more about it than me, so you can comment below and whatever. But sleep paralysis is when your body is stuck in 2 states of consciousness, which is being asleep and being awake. And basically, when you get into the deepest of sleep, which is called REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement, the REM cycle, your brain paralyzes your body so that if you dream, your body isn't trying to like act out the dream. So if you're like dreaming or whatever about like punching someone, or you're running from someone in your dream, like while you're sleeping, you're not actually doing this and your legs aren't actually running like in your bed, because your brain purposefully paralyzes your body so that you don't like move around in your sleep in accordance with the dream that you're having. In sleep paralysis, what happens is you are still asleep in the REM cycle, so your body is paralyzed, but you wake up while still asleep, so you're in 2 states of consciousness, so your eyes are open and you're aware that you're awake, but your brain is still playing out a dream and you can't move your body, so your eyes are open and you're basically viewing the dream that you're having in 3D, like your mind is playing tricks on you because you're awake but also asleep, and you're terrified because your eyes are open and you're seeing the dream, which is usually a really scary dream. It's not like happy. It's usually like you see dark figures in your room or people approaching you, or you can feel like a really negative energy or presence on either side of you. But because you're paralyzed, you literally can't move your head to investigate. Like you literally cannot move from the neck down, and it's really hard to even get your mouth to open. Like a lot of people want to open their mouth and scream, but they can't. So it's literally like living a nightmare and not being able to move. It's literally fucking hell. I've never experienced this. I've only heard about this until 2 nights ago I experienced it. I didn't even experience it to the extent of what I know people experience it is like, because after what happened 2 nights ago, I went on Netflix and I watched the documentary The Nightmare, and it's all about different people that have sleep paralysis often and like the shit they've dealt with and the shit they've seen and just how terrifying it is. So if you really want to understand the depth of how fucking scary it is, I recommend that you check out The Nightmare on Netflix. What happened is I was going to meet with a guy from Tinder at his house, which is far away. It's like an hour outside of Austin because he's gonna renovate it, flip it, sell it. Good for him, that's cool. So I drive an hour to meet him at his house. It was amazing. I don't really want to talk about him because I don't want to jinx it, and I've definitely come on here before and been like, oh, I met this guy and it's really great, and I feel like things with him and I are going to progress and it's going to go well, and then it ends up not. So I don't want to jinx it, and I don't want to say anything about the date or anything about him. I'm just going to leave it at I had a date with a guy from Tinder, so I went to his house. So I get to the house, and I don't know how it came up, but he just started telling me about how he's pretty sure that the house is haunted because I stayed with him his only 3rd night ever sleeping there. Like he just fucking like moved in to like start renovating and stuff. So he told me that his first night, he was sleeping on a mattress in a back bedroom. It had like his gun by the mattress because he's in like a random neighborhood in the middle of buttfuck Texas, like literally middle of fucking nowhere. He doesn't know anyone, doesn't know the area, like just wants to be safe. So at like 2, 3 in the morning, after he's been asleep all night and he like shut all the doors in the house, just really locked everything up, he wakes up to the bedroom door of the room he's sleeping in, slamming the fuck open, like super loud, like banging, whatever. So he gets up and thinks, holy fuck, someone's in my house and is like trying to fucking get to me. So he like grabs the gun, and the gun has like a laser. So he like goes out into the hallway and he's looking around, and like the whole house is lit up red like from the laser, and he doesn't see anything. So he's just like, okay, whatever. Obviously there could be explanations for a door slamming open, but for a door to slam open and like create a huge noise, like that takes force, like that's not really wind. So he was kind of sketched out by that, but didn't really think anything of it until the second night. He said 2, 3 a.m. he woke up to what sounded like someone dragging something really heavy down the hallway, because there's only one main hallway in the house, and then it sounded like someone picked something up and dropped it on the floor. And he said it felt like someone dropped something super, super heavy, like a couple 100 pounds of shit in a box, and just dropped it on the floor. So he has all these boxes in his house because he's like just moved in. So he thought, what the fuck, is someone fucking with my shit? Like what is going on? Again, gets out, investigates, all the boxes are where they're supposed to be, nothing's out of place, just like really fucking weird. So after that, he was like, okay, this seems a little paranormal to me, like what is the explanation for that? Like that's fucking weird. So he started talking to the neighbors and found out that the woman that lived there previously was this little old lady who died, so probably died in her house. And I actually looked her up and found her obituary, and she died August 20th of last year. And so that was like 11 months ago. So this guy's probably the first guy to like move in there. So it's probably her spirit just like letting you know, like, this is my house, like I used to live here, you're the first person to be in here, blah blah blah. So he tells me all this stuff, and I believe in this shit. So I'm already kind of freaked the fuck out because I'm like, oh my god, well, is shit gonna happen when I'm here? Because I'm not here for it, boy. I don't want it to happen. And I was like talking to the ghost like, hi, like please be respectful of me, I'm a guest. I don't want you to do anything weird. Anyway, him and I had such a good time that we ended up staying up until like 5:30 in the fucking morning talking completely on accident. Like we had no idea what fucking time it was, and then we were both fucked for the next day. Like he got 1 hour sleep, I got 3 hours of sleep. And I'll tell you why in a second. So he tells me that shit. I completely believe him. I'm like, yep, I would definitely say that this house is fucking haunted then, but I didn't feel any negative energy. Like, there's not a bad feeling in the house, so it's not like, oh, there's some evil spirit here. Like, it probably is just like the ghost of a nice old lady. Like, there was no bad juju, no bad feelings, but I was just like, I hope nothing weird happens when I'm here. So he's telling me how the house is haunted, and he also tells me that he kind of used to be a little skeptical, but because of one experience he had like a few years ago or something, he now believes in paranormal things. And he told me that the experience that he had was he went with friends to like stay at someone's like big ass nice ranch house or something, and everyone just like picked a room to sleep in, whatever. Middle of the night, he wakes up and he sees a figure, like a dark figure of a man or something, standing in the corner of the room, and he's freaking out because he's scared, like, what the fuck is this? So he wants to get up and like run and leave the room or like fight the person or scream or something, but he can't fucking move. And he was telling me that was his first ever experience of sleep paralysis, and it was super, super scary because he sees this creepy figure that he wants to get away from and he physically can't. And so he said he was like kind of paralyzed, whatever, 20 minutes, gets the fuck out of the sleep paralysis, is like, fuck no, not today, because the second he gets out of it, the figure's gone. So he goes, sleeps on the couch. The next morning, everyone's like, why are you sleeping on the couch, bro? And he was like, because this weird shit happened to me. And then some dude, I guess whoever owned the house or whatever, told him like, oh, well, that room is kind of supposed to be off limits. Like, no one fucking goes in there because that's the room that my uncle, great uncle, something like that, committed suicide in. So like, how fucking creepy is that? So he definitely was like, oh my God, like this sleep paralysis thing I experienced was probably something paranormal having to do with like your dead uncle probably fucking looking at me in the corner of the room being like, why the fuck is this random man sleeping up in my shit? And after that, he said he was like a believer in things. Since we stayed up so late, like 5:30 in the morning, we passed the like 2, 3 a.m. mark and nothing happened. Maybe because we were both awake, who the fuck knows, but nothing happened and I was grateful. So we finally go to sleep. He sets an alarm for like 6:37 because he has to fucking go to work and shit. So he sets the alarm, he wakes up, he gets dressed, he like kisses me on the cheek. He's like, hey, I have to go to work. This is horrible. I can't believe I got 1 hour of sleep. This is gonna be the worst day of my life. But you can totally stay, like sleep as long as you need to. Like when you wake up naturally, like you can just head back or whatever, like whatever you want to do. Like I'm not gonna fucking kick you out of my house. So I was like so fucking sleep deprived, like literally like eyes like this when he was like just saying bye to me, and I was like, like passed the fuck back out, like dead to the world. I sleep for 2 more hours because he left at like 7 and I ended up leaving the house to drive back to Austin at like 9:45 a.m. because this happened. I wake up at some point where you're like waking up and you're like, everything's kind of blurry, you know, like when you like kind of cross your eyes because you're like still super sleepy and your eyes are adjusting and you feel like you're still half asleep, but you also know that you're half awake, like literally just waking up a little bit. So I'm starting to wake up a little bit and I see like kind of out of the corner of my eye, a man sitting shirtless on the bed next to me. And I just assumed it was the guy that I was on the date with, the guy that lived there. So I talked to him. Like I was not having sleep paralysis. I was literally just waking up groggy. I was like, oh, like, why didn't you go to work? Like, did you just come back? Or like, what time is it? Is it like 2 p.m.? Like, why are you back already, basically? And he wasn't responding to me and I didn't really care enough. I was so fucking exhausted and like out of it and groggy that I just fell back asleep. I don't know how much time passes, but the second time I wake up and again, it's like everything's kind of blurry and I can tell that I'm waking up and I'm like, okay, like I'm waking up again because I'd woken up prior. Waking up again, I see again, out of the corner of this eye, shirtless dude sitting on the bed next to me. And I think it's the guy I was on the date with. So I go to speak to him again, like how I did prior, and I can't open my mouth. And then I try to move, and from here down, completely fucking paralyzed. Like my whole body was like tingly numb, like literally, I don't even know, literally what it must feel like to be paralyzed. And I remember just laying there because I couldn't do anything, looking out of the corner of my eye at what I thought was the dude I was on the date with sitting there shirtless. And I was trying to open my mouth to talk to him and I couldn't get my mouth to open. I kept trying to lift my neck up. I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't move anything. And I didn't feel like a bad energy. I didn't feel like, oh, some ghost is coming after me or this figure's coming towards me. Like it was nowhere near as scary as what like other people with really bad sleep paralysis experience, but I could see a man sitting there shirtless to my left and I wanted to turn my head to like verify that it was the guy I went on the date with or whatever, but I couldn't turn my head because I was fucking paralyzed. And it was like that for like 5 to 10 minutes. And as like each minute passed that I realized that I couldn't move my body, I started to get like really fucking panicky because I was freaking the fuck out. And I just wanted to scream so bad. I was trying so hard to scream out the name of the dude I was on the date with, but I couldn't fucking open my mouth and just like, oh, it's so horrible. I can't express it. The Nightmare documentary shows it and like reenacts it and expresses it so fucking well so you can understand how fucking horrifying it is. And I can't move. And after like 5 to 10 minutes of this, I finally get myself to lift my head up off the pillow. Like, it's literally like the most difficult thing I've ever done. It felt like my head weighed like 5,000 pounds. Like, everything in my power just trying to lift my fucking head up off the pillow. And the second I finally get my head up, the rest of my body's free. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I sit up and I look, shirtless guy's gone. I'm thinking, oh my God, what the fuck? That was definitely sleep paralysis. And I'm also thinking, oh, that must have been the guy I was on the date with. Where did he go? Like, did he just go to the bathroom? So I screamed out his name. I was like, meh? I'm not gonna say his name. No response. Didn't really think much of it, but was definitely kind of freaked out because I was aware that I had definitely just experienced sleep paralysis. I get my fucking phone because I'm sitting there and like 5 whole minutes pass and he's not coming back because I'm thinking he's in the bathroom. I get my phone and I text him like, OMG, like, did you come back home? And then he like didn't reply. So I was like, wait, are you not here? Because if you're not here, your house is 1,000,000% fucking haunted. And he was like, what happened? And I was just like, wait, you're not here? You never came back? Like, what the fuck? Nope, I'm so fucking out. Literally didn't even make the bed, anything. I feel kind of bad, but I literally was like, I have to leave right fucking now. Like, what is the chance that I'm told in a haunted house, so the ghost or whatever can be listening, that this dude's first paranormal experience is a sleep paralysis in a haunted room, and then I experienced sleep paralysis for the first time in my entire life right after this dude tells me that, while in a house that is probably fucking haunted. I was like, no fucking way, I'm so out, that's so fucked. And then last night, which was the second night since then, I was sleeping in my own bed last night and I was like so scared to go to sleep. I was like, I swear to fuck, if I have sleep paralysis literally ever again, I'm gonna like lose my fucking shit. It's horrifying. But everything was fine, sleeping in my own bed. So after some introspection and a lot of Google research on like sleep paralysis and paranormal, or like sleep paralysis in a haunted house or in a haunted room, like there's so much information, you can Google it. It's so fucking fascinating. After much introspection and like thinking about what happened and whatever, I don't think that the vision of the man was like a ghost, because again, it was like an old woman that lived and died there. I think that the vision of the man was me like having a dream, like kind of dreaming about the guy I was on a date with. Like, I think what I was seeing was a dream. It was my brain creating a dream, but I was awake and paralyzed. But the only reason I think I was experiencing this and the sleep paralysis and this feeling of fear was because I was in a house that is most likely haunted. Oh my God, it was so fucking scary. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is 100% a paranormal experience. This 100% would not have happened if I hadn't been sleeping in this house. And now I'm super fucking scared to sleep there again, because if it's gonna become a common thing that every time I sleep there, I'm gonna experience sleep paralysis, I'm literally not gonna be able to sleep there. But it only happened once he left for work. It was like when I was alone. So to me, that was kind of like the ghost being like, okay, well now it's my turn to like kind of do something to this girl just to like prove I'm here, or let her know I'm here. So that happened and it was insane, and I just can't believe that he literally tells me my first paranormal experience was in a haunted room having sleep paralysis and this is what happened. And then that fucking night, like 4 hours later, because we were up all night, I have sleep paralysis in a potentially haunted house / room after the ghost or whatever literally knows or hears him telling me that that's his first paranormal experience. I don't know what to make of it. It happened. It was so scary. Everyone comment below. I don't know your thoughts on sleep paralysis. Do you have sleep paralysis? If you do have sleep paralysis, what's been the scariest thing you've experienced? What do you think about what happened to me? Do you think it was a paranormal thing? Do you think it was just complete chance that I just happened to have sleep paralysis for the first time in my entire fucking life that night? What do you think it means? I don't know. I was very, very, very spooked. It's definitely the most scared I've been without reason, like because of a ghost or because of something that can't be explained. Like, it was literally terrifying, and I'm definitely scared to sleep there again, which I know I probably will. So I don't know, y'all. That was fucking whack as fuck. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. Holy fucking shit. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I'm going to put up the Bachelorette recap tomorrow or Sunday at the absolute latest. I love you all. I can't wait to hear your feedback. Make sure you follow me on social media. Have a great day. Bye, guys.